In mid-2025, Germany stands at a critical juncture, facing a profound transformation. The nation is on the cusp of a new era, one that demands a re-evaluation of its core principles and long-held beliefs. This transformation would have seemed utterly impossible, even unthinkable, just a few short years ago. The very idea of Germany deviating from its established path was something few could have imagined. Once the unwavering champion of fiscal discipline, a nation renowned for its commitment to balanced budgets and prudent financial management, and export-driven growth, a model of economic success fueled by its prowess in international trade, Germany is now boldly embracing massive state borrowing, a significant departure from its traditional aversion to public debt. The nation is prepared to take on substantial financial obligations to achieve its strategic goals, and a sweeping military buildup, a dramatic shift in its defense posture, reflecting a new sense of urgency and determination to safeguard its interests. The long-held era of balanced budgets, a cornerstone of Germany's economic philosophy for decades, and cautious foreign policy, a deliberate approach to international affairs characterized by restraint and diplomacy, has definitively ended. It's been replaced by a bold, riskier strategy, a willingness to take calculated chances in pursuit of its objectives on the global stage. Chancellor Friedrich Merz, in office since 2023, a leader determined to reshape Germany's future, is dismantling the debt brake, a controversial move that signals a fundamental shift in the nation's fiscal priorities. He's arguing that old rules no longer fit, that the traditional constraints on government spending are ill-suited to the challenges of the modern world. A world of geopolitical instability, characterized by increasing uncertainty and escalating threats, demands a new approach. Economic stagnation, a period of sluggish growth and diminished prosperity, energy shocks, sudden and disruptive increases in energy prices, and new security threats, both domestic and international, have forced Germany to abandon its post-war economic identity, a legacy of stability and restraint forged in the aftermath of World War II. As Europe's largest economy, the powerhouse that drives much of the continent's prosperity, Germany's pivot to deficit spending, a move away from its long-standing commitment to fiscal conservatism and militarization, a significant increase in its military capabilities and a renewed focus on defense, is reshaping the continent's priorities, forcing a re-evaluation of long-held assumptions about economic and security cooperation. No longer just Europe's economic engine, the driving force behind the continent's prosperity, Germany now aims to be its strategic and military backbone, a provider of security and stability in an increasingly uncertain world. This is a shift with profound consequences for all of Europe, a transformation that will reshape the continent's future for decades to come. At the heart of Germany's transformation, a significant shift in economic philosophy is taking place. This isn't just a minor adjustment, it's a fundamental rethinking of how the nation approaches its financial responsibilities and its role in the global economy. Is the sidelining of the Schuldenbremse, or debt brake, a constitutional amendment designed to limit government borrowing? This once sacred principle is now being re-evaluated in light of pressing national needs. The constitutional debt brake, enshrined in the German Basic Law, was intended to ensure fiscal discipline and prevent future generations from being burdened with excessive debt. It was a cornerstone of Germany's reputation for sound economic management. Once a symbol of German economic virtue, a testament to its commitment to fiscal responsibility and long-term stability, the debt brake is now seen by some as a dangerous constraint, an impediment to necessary investments, and a hindrance to addressing urgent national challenges. In a world demanding flexibility, a world grappling with unprecedented economic and geopolitical uncertainties, the old rules, it is argued, no longer apply. Finance Minister Lars Kleinbell argues, a key proponent of this new approach, that rigid fiscal rules are reckless, especially in times of crisis, when decisive action is needed to protect the economy and its citizens. If they leave the country vulnerable to economic shocks, geopolitical instability, and the long-term consequences of underinvestment in critical infrastructure and national security. The government now plans annual deficits exceeding 3% of GDP, a significant departure from its previous commitment to balanced budgets and fiscal prudence. These deficits are justified as a necessary response to extraordinary circumstances, including the ongoing war in Ukraine, the energy crisis, and the need to accelerate the transition to a green economy. Supporters say this is a long overdue correction, a pragmatic response to the realities of the 21st century. necessary to fix crumbling infrastructure, modernize transportation networks, and underfunded public services, ensuring that all citizens have access to quality healthcare, education, and social support. Critics warn that the plan to borrow up to €850 billion by 2029, a staggering sum, is unprecedented and risky, potentially jeopardizing Germany's long-term financial stability and its reputation as a responsible borrower, raising concerns about future debt burdens and inflation, which could erode the purchasing power of ordinary citizens and undermine economic growth. Germany's debt-to-GDP ratio remains moderate compared to some other European countries, but the speed of borrowing is alarming to many, raising fears that Germany is embarking on a path of unsustainable debt accumulation. The nation is entering uncharted fiscal territory, venturing into a realm of economic experimentation with uncertain consequences, betting that investment now will secure its future, hoping that the benefits of increased spending will outweigh the risks of rising debt. It's a high-stakes gamble with the future of the German economy on the line. The Bundeswehr, Germany's armed forces, is set to be the primary beneficiary of the nation's ambitious new borrowing initiative. This injection of funds marks a significant turning point for the German military, which has faced years of underinvestment and modernization challenges. The German government is embarking on a historic rearmament program, a move that signals a profound shift in the country's defense policy. This decision reflects a growing recognition of the need to bolster its military capabilities in an increasingly uncertain global landscape. The goal is ambitious: to exceed NATO's defense spending targets, not just eventually, but years ahead of the agreed-upon schedule. This commitment underscores Germany's dedication to fulfilling its obligations within the alliance and contributing to collective security. By 2029, Germany is projecting to allocate 3.5% of its gross domestic product to defense spending. This substantial investment demonstrates a long-term commitment to strengthening its armed forces and enhancing its security posture. This represents a dramatic leap from previous years, marking a significant departure from past spending levels. The increase reflects a fundamental reassessment of the importance of military readiness in the current geopolitical climate. The €850 billion in new debt will be strategically allocated to modernize and expand Germany's defense capabilities across various domains. This financial commitment is a testament to the seriousness with which Germany views the evolving security challenges. A significant portion of the funds will be directed towards acquiring modern fighter jets, ensuring that the German Air Force remains at the forefront of aerial combat capabilities. These advanced aircraft will enhance Germany's ability to project power and defend its airspace. Investments will also be made in new warships, bolstering the German Navy's ability to protect its maritime interests and contribute to international security operations. These modern vessels will enhance Germany's naval presence and its capacity to respond to emerging threats at sea. Furthermore, the rearmament program includes substantial investments in advanced missile defense systems, designed to protect German territory and critical infrastructure from aerial threats. These systems will provide a crucial layer of defense against potential attacks. The plan also calls for expanded personnel, increasing the size and readiness of the German armed forces. This expansion will ensure that the Bundeswehr has the manpower necessary to effectively operate and maintain its modern equipment. This comprehensive overhaul is a direct response to the ongoing war in Ukraine, which has fundamentally altered the security landscape of Europe. The conflict has highlighted the urgent need for Germany to strengthen its defense capabilities and contribute to regional stability. The war shattered the illusion of a peaceful Europe, exposing vulnerabilities and underscoring the importance of credible deterrence. The events in Ukraine have served as a wake-up call, prompting Germany to reassess its defense priorities. The new consensus is clear: credible deterrence requires real military strength, not just diplomatic efforts. A robust military is now seen as essential for safeguarding national interests and deterring potential adversaries. Military spending is now widely viewed as essential for national survival, a fundamental investment in the country's security and future. This shift in perspective reflects a growing recognition of the importance of defense in a volatile world. It's no longer seen as just a budget line to be minimized, but rather a critical component of national security that demands sustained investment. This change in mindset represents a significant departure from previous approaches to defense spending. This rearmament is framed as an unavoidable necessity in a more dangerous world, a strategic imperative to protect Germany's interests and contribute to global stability. The investment in defense is seen as a crucial step in ensuring the country's security and prosperity in an increasingly uncertain future. Even as Germany ramps up military spending, its economy is stuck in crisis. Stagnation and inflation, stagflation, have gripped the country, with growth forecasts flat or negative. The loss of cheap Russian gas has crippled energy-intensive industries, raising costs and fueling inflation. Demographic decline and labor shortages are straining the workforce and pension system. Productivity is weak, and the famed automotive sector is struggling to adapt to electric vehicles and digitalization. These structural problems make it harder for Germany to recover, even as it takes on massive new debt. The economy feels stuck, unable to generate the growth needed to support its ambitious new agenda. The turning point for Germany's strategy is summed up in one word, Zeitenwende, a change of era. What began as a response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine has become a radical reordering of national priorities. The old belief in change through trade is gone. Military deterrence is now seen as essential. The public mood has shifted, with broad support for prioritizing security over fiscal solvency. Chancellor Merz argues that peace in Europe can no longer be taken for granted, and Germany must lead in providing security. The government frames massive borrowing and military spending as unavoidable in a changed world. The debate is no longer about whether to rearm, but how fast. Fiscal discipline has been subordinated to national security. To fund rearmament, Germany amended its constitution in 2024, allowing defense borrowing to bypass the debt brake. This required a two-thirds Bundestag majority, showing a new political consensus on security. Critics warn this defense exception sets a dangerous precedent, weakening fiscal discipline and transparency. Some fear it creates a shadow budget, shielded from normal scrutiny. The government argues the old rules were too rigid for today's security threats. Despite concerns, the amendments passed, clearing the way for massive borrowing. The move is presented as a necessary bending of the rules to safeguard the nation's future. Not everyone supports the government's focus on military spending. Critics argue that pouring billions into defense comes at the expense of infrastructure, education, and social welfare. Economists warn that military spending won't fix Germany's deeper economic problems, like pensions, labor shortages, or digitalization. Civil society groups call for a more balanced approach, integrating security with investment in domestic priorities. Some fear a return to militarism and warn of provoking a new arms race in Europe. Others advocate for diplomacy and development over military buildup. While these voices are in the minority, they represent a crucial counterpoint in the national debate. In July 2025, Germany is making a high-stakes bet that rapid debt-fueled rearmament will deliver security and renewed influence. With a debt-to-GDP ratio still lower than many peers, Germany argues it can afford this pivot, at least for now. But the risks are immense: higher inflation, rising interest payments, and the danger of a larger army but a weaker economy. The challenge is to balance military spending with domestic investment or risk fracturing public support. Germany must also reassure Europe that its rearmament is for collective defense, not dominance. The outcome of this gamble will shape not just Germany, but the future of Europe. One thing is clear: the old Germany is gone, and the new one is still being forged.